Kia ora tātou katoa. Mr. Speaker, when Minister Turia began this debate under extraordinary urgency, she said that there are only a few matters before this House that one could stand with hand on heart and declare that this was a life and death debate. This bill, she added, is purely and simply about saving lives. So today we celebrate another step in saving the lives of New Zealanders addicted to tobacco and reducing the number of our citizens who die in their thousands every year from smoking. And for those who want to know exactly what we're talking about, it's about trying to put a dent into the wiping out of the whole population of Kaitaia every single year. And for us as a Māori party, Mr. Speaker, our cause is made even more dramatic because every year Māori gather to commemorate the lives of the 600 sons of the battalion lost in the 5 years of the Second World War. And yet we mourn alone the 600 lives of Māori people stolen every year by the decisions of British American Tobacco, Imperial Tobacco, Philip Morris and others to maximise their profits from addicting and killing people. So today is a big day, Mr. Speaker, and an important day, not just for Māori, but for the whole country, as we take another step on the march to save the lives of 5,000 Kiwis lost every year to tobacco. A march begun by smoke-free activists like Dr. Paparangi Reid, Shane Bradbrook, Dr. Marewa Glover, Ben Newton, Moana Maniapoto, Mary Wilson and many, many others, and aided by organisations like the Health Sponsorship Council, Te Hotu Manawa Māori, the Quit Group, Te Reo Marama, Aukati Kai Paipa, Auahi Kore, Global Smoke-Free Northland, Hapai Te Hauora Tāpui, ASH, Tala Pacifica, and all the others who have been working for years to bring our smoking rates down. And today's step is one of the hardest we will ever take, because today we take the tough decision to increase taxes. 14% onto the tax of roll your owns, followed by another 33.3% on all tobacco products in the years ahead. And we don't do it just because we think it might help reduce smoking and improve health outcomes. We do it because the 2008 report of the global tobacco epidemic said that increasing the price of tobacco through higher taxes is the single most effective way to decrease consumption and encourage tobacco users to quit. And when people tell us that tax increases won't win us votes, we say that some things you just don't do for votes. You do them because they are the right thing to do, that some things are more important than winning votes. And when people say that smokers won't be happy, you can tell them that in fact 80% of smokers actually want to stop, and they tell us that anything we can do to help them stop is a bonus for them. We know that putting up the price will also force people to cut back, but more importantly it will also provide a strong incentive for smokers to quit, and if it helps to convince young people not even to start, then that's great as well. And you can tell the other ones that even though smokers mightn't be happy, you can be sure that most of their whānau will be happy if this tax increase helps them to stop smoking. And yes, it's true that increasing the price of tobacco is a tough measure for those who don't have a lot of money anyway. But the truth is that we are dealing with one of the most addictive substances in the world, a substance described by medical researchers as being even more addictive than heroin. Mr. Speaker, tobacco is the largest cause of preventable death and disease for Māori. It's a cost that no nation can sustain and a cost that no family should have to bear. But we have, and we do, and I constantly ask myself why. If a faulty part in a car was responsible for even 2 deaths, that car manufacturer would be sued for millions. If another country was responsible for the deaths of just a couple of hundred of our citizens, we would go to war. But here we are, losing 5,000 of our country's family to the tobacco industry every year, and we do so little to stop them. an industry driven by multi-billion-dollar tobacco giants who are directly responsible for the huge social and economic costs to our country. The insurance costs for fire, for property, for health and for life itself. The cost to our health sector, the chemo, the radiotherapy, the surgery, the stench that can't be washed out of the clothes, the lingering stink in homes, offices, cars and workplaces, the damage to the unborn child, the suffering of children trapped in a smoker's car, the loss of earnings of those in care, the loss of years for those who smoke, and the loss of life that every family is forced to bear. And so I take this opportunity to also thank all of my colleagues on the Māori Affairs Select Committee, our Chairman, the Honourable Tau Hinari, Simon Bridges, Paul Quinn, the Honourable Parekura Horomia, Metariri Nui, and Calvin Davis for the work being done by the committee as part of the inquiry into the tobacco industry and the impact of tobacco on Māori. And I also extend my thanks to Metiria Ture, Kamau Sepuloni and William Sua for their attendance and their support as well as Ian Lees Galloway. Thank you very much for your attendance the other day. Mr. Speaker, I would just like to remind all members of this House that although our inquiry is specifically targeted at Māori, we knew going in that if we were successful in bringing forward legislation to slow and hopefully to stop the tobacco industry in its tracks, that the benefits that would flow from that decision would enhance the lives of all citizens of Aotearoa, Māori, Pacifica, Pākehā, Asian, and all other peoples who have come to call this land home. The fact was that we simply could not see how Parliament would allow us to mount an investigation into the tobacco industry until one night Shane Bradbrook of Te Reo Marama, who has been a critical part of our inquiry and a dedicated and committed anti-tobacco activist, came up with the bright idea of using the Māori angle to get the inquiry going. And we've been to different parts of the country, hearing submissions from victims, from families, from doctors, from nurses, from health agencies, and even from British American Tobacco themselves, building a case for our final report to Parliament, which I understand will come before the House in July of this year. And I've seen my colleagues grow in their commitment to our task, and I've heard some excellent speeches from them in tonight's debate, and it encourages me for the last couple of months ahead of us. So on behalf of our committee, I wish to thank the Minister for the inspiration that this bill gives us in the work that we have yet to do, and the challenge that whoever's provided for us to prepare a report that truly reflects the feelings that we have been witness to, the damage that we have heard evidence of, and the recommendations that this country's children and grandchildren might one day enjoy a world that is tobacco-free. Mr. Speaker, when I knew I would be speaking tonight, I actually prepared an attack speech because I thought we might be really up against it on this one. But I was wrong, deeply wrong. And so I express my sincere thanks to all speakers tonight, speakers from all parties, for their forbearance of this bill being brought to the House under extraordinary urgency, for the depth of their contributions, and for their support for this initiative. Mr. Speaker, 4 years ago I attended a hui where I shared the goal, tobacco out of Aotearoa, by the 10th of December 2010. My timing might be just a wee bit out, Mr. Speaker, but today we take another step on the road to a smoke-free Aotearoa with this landmark bill tonight. And speaking of smoke-free and smoke-free bars and restaurants, Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity also to add for the second night in a row my special thanks to Mr. Tukuroirangi Morgan last night for his work in bringing the Waikato Tainui River Settlement Bill through its second reading, and tonight for his work in preparing the Smoke-Free Bars and Restaurants Bill, which he unfortunately was not in the House to see pass, but I know is happy to see has become part of the fabric of this nation. Mr. Speaker, the Māori Party is proud to stand tonight to honour our co-leader, the Honourable Tariana Turia, Minister for Tobacco Control, for her persistence with this bill, for her courage, and for her commitment